just me.
Well, thank goodness for that.
It's that month of the year, isn't it?
One of our favourites. In fact, probably my favourite month of the year, actually.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. It was lovely today, actually. I'm just trying to do my owl imitation, but it's not working.
Oh, I thought you were maybe suffering from lack of winter fuel payment there, and you were rubbing your hands together.
Well, there is that. No, still can't get it to work.
Anyway,
okay.
Welcome to our What's coming up in October. But it's just as well, because now we get this fabulous background. So what's on in October? 1st of October is a Tuesday, and you might recall that we pushed our live stream back, which was going to be the last week in September. We knocked it back, so we were too busy. we were at conferences. We didn't have time. So that'll be the live stream will be the 1st. And remember, that's the one where, if you'd like, you can pile in to the comments. You can ask us questions. You can, you can say what you think of what we do, if you like, or suggestions.
And we promise we'll put them up. We do put them. We sometimes can't put all of the comments up, but we put quite a lot of the comments appear on the screen. So, opportunity to fame, not fortune, but fame.
Yeah, no fortune in this game.
No fortune involved.
What I'm going to do this time is give you all the Tuesday video premieres, because the following Friday is the audio version of all of them, as opposed to last month when I did it the wrong way around and confused everybody. So Tuesday the 1st is the live stream. We don't have a title for it yet. The title kind of emerges from the discussion. That's what's happened in the last couple, I think. Tuesday the 8th, we have an exclusive. Marlene and I were in Edinburgh at the launch of a new campaign called Building a Local Scotland, and we got this lovely booklet full of essays. This is a group, quite a wide-ranging group of people who've got together and decided to do something about the lack of local democracy in Scotland. It's really an interesting discussion, and there's comparisons between Scotland and Europe, the Nordic countries in particular, and they want to try and just completely change the power ratio between national government, local government, and ordinary people.
Yeah, I went along. I have to say, I was a bit skeptical going along to it, but the input from there was 4 or 5 speakers, and the way that they talked about it and just putting forward the reasons for it, actually, I found very persuasive. So I went into the room a bit skeptical, and I came out of the room thinking, yeah, that's a big job. That would be a big job to get that going, but that could really, really transform how people feel connected into their politics, more people being involved in local politics, and also having to work more between one part, your neighbours, or one town to the next, or one town out into the countryside. So I found it really good.
I can tell you a bit about who was on the panel. There was Leslie Riddick, who everybody will know her, but there was also Esther Robertson, who's the former coordinator of the Scottish Constitutional Convention. So she's obviously got a long history in there. There was Dave Watson, who's the director of the Jimmy Reid Foundation. Willie Sullivan, who's the senior director for campaigns in Scotland Electoral Reform Society. And it was chaired by Joyce McMillan, who, of course, is a Scotsman columnist and theatre critic. So quite an interesting panel, quite a varied range of people, and very, very stimulating discussion. So that'll be Tuesday the 8th. Tuesday the 15th is part 2 of our 1820 uprising courtroom drama. This is
courtroom drama. This is really dramatic stuff, sometimes with a rather sad ending, but dramatic stuff. So don't miss that. We've been really pleased with how popular part 1 was of that.
Yeah.
We put things out because they're worthwhile doing it. At the same time, we're sort of thinking, well, I wonder how well it will do. And that one shot up the charts quite quickly, actually. So hopefully that will happen with this part 2 as well. So
yeah. And if you haven't seen part 1 yet, go and watch it. You've got 2 weeks to watch it before part 2 comes out, because you'll get a lot more out of part 2.
Yeah, you will.
Part 1.
Yeah.
And then the 22nd, the reason that we were late getting started with the live stream this month was because we were at the Scottish Currency Group's conference, which was really, really good. And so what we're going to do on the 22nd, we're going to have the highlights, the things that struck us being non-economists. There were certain things that we found very, very interesting through the various discussions. So we're just going to try and pull together some clips of what the main points were, maybe our top 10 things we learned at the conference or something like that, with some little clips. And we're also, when I looked back at the footage, the session that Tim Rideout does on how to actually launch a new currency, we've seen it before. We've covered something similar before, but it is so good. And he explains it so well that we thought we're going to reissue that as a bonus, just as a standalone. Anybody, even if you've seen it before, it's definitely worth watching again. So that'll be a bonus, probably maybe the Friday of the following the 22nd, which will be the 27th.
Yeah, that's great. That's really good.
Yeah.
And one of the things that struck me about it was, like, some of the there was a speaker from Iceland. There was a speaker from the Faroe Islands. And, you were listening to people who are, kind of like at the nuts and bolts of running a banking system, or trying to work out, how does a small country like Iceland, what does it do? What can it do when, there's a world, economic shock going on? And it was just fascinating hearing.
Great.
It was just hearing what they did. And I ended up thinking, you see, those people that ScotGov could be doing with, or at least the SNP could be doing with, being well in contact with people like that, because they've done it. They've been through difficulties. They've worked out the ways of how a small country can operate and come through it. So yeah, it's really, really, really good weekend.
They're sitting there. They don't really understand why we're struggling with this, because to them it's obvious. Of course, this works. This is what we do. So anyway, catch that. You'll enjoy it. It will be on YouTube at some point anyway, as feedback from the conference, but we're not sure at this point exactly when or where. So we thought we'll bring you our highlights, and then you can watch the full event whenever it's made available. And then Tuesday the 29th will be another live stream, if we manage to fit this one on. And there's also events happening in October that we'll be keeping an eye on. So, and of course, on the 31st of October, we'll be busy that night, won't we? We'll be out on our broomsticks. People who've displeased us over the year.
Yeah.
Hope you're not on that list.
Yeah. Be careful. Be careful, folks. Just be very, very careful.